Hello, kindergartners, first graders, second graders, and third graders. It's Mrs. Hilliard here with week 8 of occupational therapy. It's good to see you. I want to thank you for all of your hard work so far, working in our one-on-one sessions to work on your fine motor skills. You guys are doing a great job. We're going to get started. So we have our bins as usual, and bin 1 this week you're going to need a can, any kind of can, and 10 rubber bands if you have them. So the reason I chose this activity is to work on your finger and hand strength. So we are going to stretch these rubber bands over the can without letting them fly across the room as a hand warm up. And I like this because you really have to use the radial side of your hand to stretch them, and some of your other fingers too. And you can use a plastic container as well. Just don't use glass. And we're gonna do 3 more. 1, 2, and 3. So this is a great activity for finger strength. And we are done with that. And we're all done with bin number 1. We're gonna go on to bin number 2. We're gonna make a nice fall tree this week and add some details and then copy a fall poem. So you're going to need the glue and the scissors and the markers. And you're also going to need a blue sheet of paper. Let me get my blue paper here. And you're going to need some scrap paper that you have from over the past few weeks to make leaves. And a sheet of brown paper. We actually only need a half a sheet of brown paper. So I'm going to cut this in half. Can get started. So the first thing we're going to do is make the trunk on our tree. So what you're going to practice doing is drawing some lines down on your brown sheet of paper. So I'm going to make 3 dots, and I'm going to make a straight line, and then to make it a little more difficult, if you're ready, I'm going to make a curvy line and a zigzag line. So if you're still working on cutting straight lines, then you can make all 3 straight. So we're going to cut those out. Remember to pick up your scissors, putting your thumb in the little hole and keeping your thumb up when you cut. So practice cutting all the way up to the ceiling before you start cutting your paper. We're going to cut on those lines. Try to stay on the line. We're going to cut our curvy line. You're going to have to turn your paper a little bit. And our zigzag line. All right, so you should have 4 pieces of paper when you're done. And we are going to take one of those pieces of paper, one of your choice. I'm going to take this one because it looks like a big old tree trunk, and I'm going to glue it in the middle of my paper as a line down. So I'm going to use a glue stick, put glue on the back, and push down. Now for my tree branches, I'm going to take one of those pieces of brown paper that we have left, and I'm going to rip it in half. So I'm going to do the zigzag one. So they look like crooked branches on a tree. And I'm going to glue them on the paper like a Y, almost like a Y sticking out. So it kind of looks like a spooky fall tree. And then I'm going to take those scrap papers that we have. So I'm going to take red and yellow, and I'm going to tear them up. So we're going to work on that reciprocal movement and radial use of the hand. Now if you want to make this a little bit harder, you can cut out shapes, so you can draw your leaves and cut them out. I'm going to use a little bit of purple and a little bit of green. Some green left from last week. And when you're done, you should have a pile of leaves like this. So if you have Elmer's glue, that works better for putting on leaves, but I'm going to use a glue stick. I don't have Elmer's glue, and I'm going to put glue wherever I want those leaves. So you can make X's for glue. You know, a lot of kids do that. I'm going to try to get you guys away from doing that for the rest of the school year. By now, I'm hoping that you can do glue without using X's, or knowing where to put glue without using X's. We're going to make our beautiful fall tree here. So I am just pushing the leaves on at the end of the branches. And you can put as many or as little as you like. And it'd be really cool to see purple leaves outside. I think I do see a couple purple leaves. If you guys are working with me at home, you're doing a great job. I'm gonna add a couple more. And then I made a fall tree. So now we're gonna practice drawing a circle. Some of you are practicing drawing simple shapes. So right in the middle of the tree trunk, I'm gonna draw a circle or an oval. And we're gonna practice coloring in boundaries. We have a little squirrel hole in our tree. And then if you want, you can put some birds in the sky, or bats. And I can teach you how to draw those when we work together. They look like little M's. We made a fall tree. Now, the last thing you'll need is a piece of green paper. So I'm gonna add some grass. And the way I'm gonna do that is I'm gonna cut this piece of paper and fringe it. So when we fringe, it looks like this. You just are snipping, snip, snip, snip. And you can make lines for this too. You might have to hold your paper vertically for your student or your child. And we're gonna glue that right below our tree. I'm gonna make mine a little bit shorter so it doesn't cover my whole tree. And then we're gonna glue it on the bottom. We have some grass for our tree. Now to practice using that radial grasp and that index finger isolation again, we're gonna bend some of these little fringes that we made. And you made a beautiful fall craft. So you guys can write your name on the back when you're done. And we're going to move on to bin number 3. Well, actually, we're not. We're not going to move on to bin number 3. We're going to write the poem. So I have that fall poem. And if you have some writing paper at home, that would be great. And maybe a yellow highlighter so that when I see you, we can work on making those highlight lines. So this is called Fall Leaves. Red, yellow, orange, brown. Leaves are falling all around. See them dance in the cool fall air. Rake them and pile them and bag them with care. So I'm going to hold it up so Mom or Dad could copy that for you. If they pause or freeze the screen. I know some of this font might be a little more difficult for some of you because the A's don't look like the A's that you make. And that's something we can work on together, OT. And in our session, some of you only have to write the first sentence. And some of you will write all 3. Remember your word spacing, keeping your letters on the line, and using capitals and commas where you see them, and a period at the end of your sentence. Hold this with 2 hands. And if you need more time, you can pause this. Good job. All right. Now we're going to move to number 3. And actually, I'm going to tie shoes with you guys today, so I'm going to take my shoe off. It's a good way for me to remember it. And I'm going to put it on a piece of paper on the back of this one. And we're going to untie Now for our adapted shoe tying, you guys are working on plugging in. And I just want to show you a little trick. If this is the shoe tying method that you are going to use, Mom and Dad can tie knots right here on the inside so that you don't have to constantly anchor your laces. And they will stay like this with 2 loops if they come untied. So you're going to pinch in the middle. So just with the pointers, make the X, take the lace that's behind or the loop that's behind, push it down through the tunnel, pinch and pull. We're going to do that a second time. So get your bunny ears up there. You're going to make that X, save that space down below, take the one that's behind, push it down through that little tunnel, and you tied your shoe. Now for the standard shoe tying method, we'll go over that. I have to take out my knots for that one. I probably should have done that one first. And we'll take out the other side. This is a really good fine motor task to take knots out. All right. Now big arms with standard shoe tying, you're gonna pull them up, let them fall. So you have that X. So look for the X, hold your laces up. The one that's behind goes down through the front door, I call it, or through the tunnel. Pull, make one bunny ear. Take your other bunny ear, you might want to tie a knot right here. It flies around the loop. Save that space down below and push through, pinch and pull your laces. Good job, guys. Thanks for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you in our next session.